Did you know there's a part of the ocean called the aquatic zone? This zone is so deep underneath the ocean that sunlight cannot penetrate it. Wow. I mean, think about that. It is so deep that sunlight cannot penetrate this part of the ocean and is filled with darkness. But somehow, some way, the animals there are equipped with light. They are equipped with light to help them survive. They are equipped with light to help them find their way in nothing but complete darkness. But what about you? Did you know that God has equipped you with a light for survival? That He equipped you with a light to help you find your way in a world full of darkness? There is always hope because the God we serve has equipped you. But are you ready? Are you ready to understand what it means to go deep? John 1:5 tells us the light shines in the darkness and the darkness has not overcome it. Regardless how bad things may seem or how bad things could get, always know that you have been equipped with light. Are you ready? Are you ready to go deep?
Yo, what's going on, BroTalk Nation, man? It's your boy Eric here, man. I got my brother Jamarcus on, man. And BroTalk, man, tonight, y'all are in for a treat. I'm telling y'all, tonight's episode about to be good. Right now, man, we in this series called Deep. It's time to go deeper, right? And if you haven't had a chance to go check out last week's episode and the episode before that and the episodes before that, definitely go back and listen in, tune in. God had a great word and He's bringing forth another great word tonight. So if you're out there in YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching this at, wherever you're listening to this at, definitely like, love, subscribe, share. Man, if y'all don't know about it, but you new to BroTalk, if you never heard an episode before and this is your first time tuning in, I hate to tell you, we like to get real on here.
Good.
Real testimonies, real life situations, right? From my brother Andre 3000 situations. And man, we coming with something great. So, bro, what you got for the people tonight, man? What we got?
Man, hey, BroTalk Nation, what's going on, man? First and foremost, man, glory be to God that we back here doing another episode. Yes, man, like you said, yes, man, we in this series called Deeper, and this thing is about to get deeper. We're about to continue going on with this, man. And tonight episode, I can already feel the energy about to be fire. I had so much fun diving into this more, writing into this more, and I know my boy E about to come with something crazy. So I just want to get through this real quick. If you're out there on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, ring that bell, get them new notifications. And I really want to say I don't know why, but I've heard this intro for the 4 seasons we've been doing it, bro. And I was really feeling the beat. And God had me thinking right there, like, shout out to, you know, the dude that hooked us up on the intro, like the very first intro video. Yeah. And the music and all that. I was watching it and I've seen it thousands of times, but I was jamming to this thing. Like, bro, they really killed this beat. Like, for real. I don't know why, like, God put that on me, bro, because I was like, this thing is hidden right now. So, I was like, sometimes you gotta go back sometimes, bro. But bro, tonight about to be good, bro. So let's just go ahead and hop into this thing, man. Y'all know where we've been at in this deeper series, man. We've been in James, man. We've been in James 1, and James is literally this first chapter. Matter of fact, me and E talked about this when we got off. All of James is talking about getting a deeper relationship with God and going deeper in certain things. So I'm telling y'all, I do not know how long this is gonna go because we're gonna keep going with it as long as God keeps telling us to go with it. But tonight, man, we are going somewhere that a lot of people do not like to go. You know what I'm saying? If this was Captain Kirk on Star Trek, he would say, hey, man, we're about to go to the final frontier. We're about to go deeper in the space right now to the unknown, man. And tonight, man, I'm just going to go ahead and start reading this out because I want y'all to stick with me through these verses because it's a lot of Bible, but we're about to break this thing down and we're about to make it tangible. All right, so we're in James 1, 12 through 18. So bear with me in my Southern accent as I read this thing out, man. And I'm reading out the NIV. So, you know, go through and read, get deeper in your different versions. But I'm reading out the NIV, bro. It literally says, God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. Right off the rip, you know what we talking about. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. And remember, when you are being tempted, you better not say that's Jay. Don't say that's God tempting you because God is never tempted to do wrong. So how can he tempt you if he can't do wrong? That's good. He never tempts anyone. Temptation comes from our own desires, which entice us, drag us away. These desires give birth to sinful actions. And when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. So don't be misled, my dear brothers and sisters. Whatever is good and perfect is a gift coming down to us from God our Father, who created all lights in heaven. He never changes or casts a shifting shadow. He chooses to give birth to us by giving us his true word, and we out of creation became his prized possession. E, bro, do you want to go ahead and start, dog? Do you want to go ahead and start before I go? Like, go ahead, bro. Like, go ahead and start it off with. Go ahead, dog.
Man. So I go ahead and take it, bro. So I'm gonna start this one with a personal testimony, man.
Okay, all right.
You know, we like to be hot, open, and transparent right here.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, a lot of times when we're doing podcasts, y'all hear the word, but y'all don't understand. We get this word through tests and trials.
Big
right. And we have to, the same things we give into y'all, we have to give to ourselves.
Yeah.
James 13 is perfect for me, right? So this week, BroTalk, man, you know, it's been some co-parenting issues between me and my son's mother, and it's been going on for years, 2016. And for some reason, this week has been a true test from God, and I had to call on community to help me navigate, right? Because a lot of times we think it's the enemy. Like, that's the one thing that I know I hear all old people say, oh, the devil tested me. But it's not the devil. God is giving you this test.
Yeah.
God said, no. Don't y'all, like, don't give the enemy glory for something that I'm doing to you.
Yeah.
Because when I do it to you, you get more, you get an abundance of things that come after it. So going through this week, man, and you know, I'm talking to my son. He has this thing that his mom created where if he don't feel like talking, he'll tell me he don't feel like talking. And I go weeks at a time, sometimes not hearing from my son, not knowing what's going on with him.
Yeah.
And so while I'm talking with him this week, he tries to say that. And I was like, well, son, I'm your father. You're not going to do that. You're going to talk with your father, right? Because we still have to develop our relationship. We still have to have a relationship. And I want to hear about your day. I want to hear about how your day was and how your life is going. So, you know, he told me a little bit about his day. And as the conversation starts dwindling down, his mom's husband, you know, overheard him say he don't feel like talking. And so he told him, well, if you don't feel like talking, you don't have to talk. immediately I was angry, right?
Yeah.
As any father, as any parent would be, right? And so I end up telling him and yelling, "Hey, you don't get to tell my son that he don't have to talk to me."
Yeah, that's
And
good. Okay.
so he was like, "Well, if he don't feel like talking, he don't have to talk." I'm like, "But you're not his father." And so he goes and hang up on me instantly. Go to red, hot,
Yeah.
38, like Kevin Hart said. Bop, boom, bop. I'm ready to go. Pew, pew, everybody got to die, right?
Yeah.
So I call his mother and I said some choice words, right? And it wasn't godly things, but I had to catch myself. But after the whole situation, I'm hot. Like I'm immediately dealing with anger, right?
Yeah.
And God said that you can be angry, but don't go to bed with it. And you got to understand it's the same situation that you're going to have in your life where God is testing you with the thing that he know gets to you the most. But you can't be tempted to act on your flesh.
Oh, there we go, bro. Man.
I was getting there, man. I'm
Oh,
getting there,
it's about to
right?
be good.
So instantly my temptations of my flesh said, "Hey, we finna hit the slab. Let's hit 10, let's get to 20, and let's go take care of this foolishness." But is that what God needed me to do? See, God was saying, "Hey, Eric, all right, I see you. Yeah, I sent that to you. So what are you gonna do?" I'm like, "Shoot, man, God, I ain't finna let nobody." And as I'm going through it, and I was saying, and one thing that God made me do was cause people, right, to start giving me some of the words that I give out to others.
Yeah.
And as he did it, I had to understand. I'm like, man, God, like you sent this to me to see what my heart posture was.
Yeah.
And though where my heart posture was, it wasn't right. And I'm not gonna be one of those people that are like, I say something and don't do what I say.
Yeah.
I was mad. I wanted to react. I wanted to, man, I was hot. I was ready to fight. I was looking like this about to be Creed 4, right? But as the week kept going, another event happened. I was talking to my son on yesterday. He's standing behind him like he's a bodyguard. And I'm just at this point now, it's becoming comical, right?
Yeah,
Tuesday, I sent him a message. He sends me one back. And so late last night, I just sit there and I was like, you know what? God, I can't do it, man. I said, if I act on my flesh right now, it's not going to be good. And he said, son, I already showed you that the battle is won. You need to give that up and let me handle that.
Wow.
I'm the only one that can take care of this.
Yeah.
So you know what? I began to praise and worship in the midst of praying and giving God my feelings. And every song that came on was something about not letting temptation get you to a place where it's going to mess up your blessing.
Man, that's good. That's good, bro.
Man, let's go, man. We
got
more to come.
Hey, man, like honestly, man, I'm sitting here and I'm stuck because there's so much I man. Oh God, you are amazing, God. I gotta give you glory right now. You're amazing, bro. I'm gonna touch on some things that you said because it was very important. And I'm gonna start it off with this. As you guys can see, that the title is called The Temptations, right? Because I was sitting up here like, man, what I'm gonna call this? Well, man, I'm gonna get some good wordplay going on. And James's verse is about temptations. And I was like, the temptations, that's what I'm gonna put down for it. And I'm gonna roll with it. But then it got me thinking about the actual group, right? The group, the Temptations. Bro, when you think about the group Temptations, the first person you think of is David Ruffin. That's the first person you think of. Crazy David Ruffin. He was the one who had all the problems. He was loud, he was vocal, he was always out there, right? And when you think about the Temptations and things that may have been wrong with them, The first person you blame is David Ruffin. Yep, he had all the drug problems. He was all of that. But if you take a deeper dive in the group, you will come to find out that this group, everybody has some situations, bro. Like everybody. Paul Williams, he has situations. Some other people have situations. So it got me thinking, like, tonight's verse, there is more on the surface on the word. I mean, there's more deeper on the word temptation that is what's on the surface. And you brought it out and you started getting it good, because I wanted to start this thing off early, start talking to the righteous people. You did it. Because all your life you were brought up and you hear the word temptation, and the first thing you think about, and the first thing righteous people want to talk about, is sex, pornography, adultery. That is the only thing that people think they can get tempted by, right? That's it. And you just brought a full story that was not dealing with any of those, right? You wasn't dealing with any of those. And another point I want to bring out, I like how you said God tests us. But this verse said God does not tempt us. And for a lot of us, we've been thinking tempt and test is the same thing.
That's good. That's good, bro.
We have.
That's good.
Because that's why this Bible makes it really clear. Don't you say God tempt you, because God can't tempt you, but he can test you, though. Because if you don't believe it, he gave you a full, like, right there test. But he tests Abraham too by asking him to sacrifice who? He wanted to test what on Abraham? He wanted to test his heart. Like, what's more important to you? The promise that I gave you, or is it still me? He wasn't tempting him, he was testing him. See, there's a big difference. There's a big difference, E. And you made it so perfectly clear because you said something that I don't think everybody caught. You said the enemy was tempting you on something that you love, something that meant something to you. So I need to let everybody know this, and especially everybody who's righteous right now. Let me help you with the definition of temptation. It's very simple, y'all, and this is no one. We all have temptations. Temptation is anything that influences you to disobey God. That is a temptation. Very simple. Very, very simple. Anything that influences you to disobey God, temptation. So let me help y'all because it's more. Eating too much, temptation. Spending too much, temptations. Ladies, I know I just completely lost y'all. I literally saying, hold on. And I'm not
talking about my wife, man. I'm talking about my
laziness, temptation. Bending on social media, temptation. Gossiping, temptation. Bro, and I wanted to get with some people because y'all know y'all ain't believing me, but let me help y'all out. I'm gonna go backwards a little bit, bro. Eating too much. Proverbs 25:16. If you find honey, eat just enough. Too much of it and you will vomit. Boom. There we go. When I talked about venting on social media, Ephesians 4:29. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, only what is helpful for building others up. Bro, I'm not making this up. Like the Bible lets us know temptation is anything that disobeys God, right?
Yes, sir.
But bro, here is where it's time to get deeper, because this is where we're failing at right here. Temptation is not the sin, because everybody has temptation, because temptation is a feeling. It's a feeling. God allowed us to have feelings, so everyone will be tempted. So temptation is not the sin. You said it, E. Giving in to the temptation is the sin. Right. You don't believe me? Jesus didn't say watch and pray so you won't be tempted. He said watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. Bro, I don't know how else to break down this first part of James, but I'm so happy we went here early, because this is what this whole deeper series is about. We all had this magical idea of temptation, and we all, and even myself, I was like, nope, I'm not gonna be tempted. Not at all. I am strong. And God is saying, what? Boy, stop.
Man.
I know you're going to be tempted because
Yeah.
you have feelings. I allow you to have feelings, which means that you are allowed to be tempted. Now, what you need to be praying for is so that you don't fall into temptation. See,
That's right.
we forgot when we heard about the story about the devil tempting Jesus, we misread something or we didn't hear everything. Like we didn't. See, we heard Jesus got tempted, but we thought, oh, wait a minute. Jesus got tempted, but he beat it though. Yes, he did. How did he beat it? He prayed and said words not to fall into the temptation, but it didn't change that he still got what? Tempted.
Tempted. Yeah.
It didn't change that. So if Jesus got tempted, what makes you thought, Jamarcus, that you was about to walk out this house and not be tempted by every female that's walking down the street, by every bad car or fancy house in comparison and jealousy and all those things? What made you thought that you was bigger and better than Jesus to not be tempted?
Man.
We were falling short, bro, because we were only reaching the surface. We were only reaching the surface of the word temptation. We were not digging in deeper in this. And this is what we on right now, bro. And I love how you started it, bro. You literally said, I love how you said it. You said it was a feeling. And that's the point I wanted to bring first right now. We all have feelings, which means we all will be tempted.
Yeah.
And temptation is not the sin. Falling into the temptation is the sin. Bro, let's get it, bro.
Hey, and see, that's such a great point, man, because I'm gonna tell y'all there was only one perfect man in the Bible besides Jesus. And God said it, and that was our big brother Job. And God tested him directly with the enemy, just like he did Jesus. And even Job was falling short, right?
Yeah.
Because some doubt started to creep in. And see, a lot of times, just like I was telling y'all with my story, I'm sitting here, you know why I got tempted? You know why the temptation and the anger overcame me a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I tried to do it myself.
Oh, there we go.
I tried to jump into the driver's seat instead of letting Jesus take the wheel. Right. Yeah. Because when God tempts us, when God tests us, it's always in a situation where it gets to us the most. And see, that part of you that he's getting to is something that unfortunately you haven't been real with God with.
Yeah.
You being fake with God with that situation that you're being tempted with and tested with. So that's why you're falling for the temptation of your flesh. God ain't tempting you. It's the temptation of your flesh. It's that, see, when he grabbed the phone and hung up on me, see, it's like a perfectly cooked steak. That taste of, man, I want to put my hands on him started to sit in my mouth. So the words that came out my mouth was none of God at all.
Yeah.
But all things of what the enemy does want me to say. And see, what you got to do in those situations is you got to have a real conversation. The only way for things to get fixed is if you have a real conversation.
That's real.
Just like in the movie of the Temptations, they all had to sit down and tell Eddie Ruffin, we don't want you in the group no more. And where Eddie Ruffin said, you ain't gonna be nothing without me, Otis. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Hey, with your anger, with your feelings, with that flesh, hey, ain't nobody coming to see you, man.
Ain't nobody coming to see you.
Ain't nobody coming to see you. But God is coming to see if you're gonna bring that same test, that same taste of everything that you don't like. He want to see if you're gonna bring it back to him. See, in order for what's in me to be fixed, I have to be real and give it to him.
Yeah.
And when you're not real with God, it's like it's like if you play football and you went and got hit and your arm is turned the other way, but your coach said, hey, put some ice on it.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly your arm is broken.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're going to continue to be in pain if you never be real with the physician when they ask you, hey, what's going on with your arm? And he's like, oh, it's a little scratch on it. It's all right. I'll be all right. Nah, your arm is broken. Let me rewind it back. Yeah, your heart is broken from that person that said they wanted to be with you, and now they with somebody else right now. Oh yeah, your feelings are hurt because somebody else that you thought was less qualified than you got the job more over you.
Yeah.
Your son is being raised by some man that you don't feel is qualified. But you got to take that and you got to give it to God and be real with him. Hey, God, I don't like what I'm feeling. And I know that my flesh is speaking to me more than you. So before I'm tempted to do what my flesh say, I want to hear what you say.
Yeah, that's real.
See, this is how you take your temptation and you turn it into great results for your test from God.
That's good, bro.
Let's go.
That's good, bro. I want to touch on something that you said that I hope people didn't miss, because this is a part of the deeper of this, man. And you talked about like your flesh, right? With this temptation, man, and getting a little deeper inside of that, man. There are three types of sources dealing with temptation, man. And you name one of them, which is your flesh, right? That's why the Bible tells us that our flesh has to die every day. Like every morning you wake up, a part of you has to die so that
gotta go.
A part of you has to die so that you can live again. Like I hope y'all caught that, man. Like a part of you has to die so that you can live again, because like you said, man, that flesh is things that you will get tempted on, right? Another source of that is literally talking about like the world. The world is a part of like a source of temptation, right? You got social media, you got things you can compare to, right? And then the last one is the enemy. The enemy's gonna test you. I mean, I'm sorry, not test you. The enemy's gonna tempt you. The enemy ain't dealing with tests. The enemy is trying to tempt. That is what he do: steal, kill, and destroy. So he's gonna tempt you. So if you know those three type of sources, right? If you're trying to help yourself, you can help by getting deeper in that, by knowing which one is the temptation coming from right now. Like in every situation where you feeling your temptation, you need to be like, you know what? Where is it coming from right now? Is this the enemy right now? Is it the world right now? Or is it my flesh right now? Because if you don't know which one it is, you could be talking to the enemy and the enemy ain't got nothing to do with you. It must be you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It must be your flesh. So you sit up here saying, bro, it's all the devil, dog. This all the devil. And the devil throwing his hands up like, bro, this ain't even me. This you this time. Like, I ain't even doing that. Yeah, I ain't even doing that. I was down the street. This you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's real important, bro. And I wanted to, and I had this written down because, and I said that why is because, see, I think sometimes we get mad about temptation because it be our own desires, right?
Man.
And the Bible, like the Bible says is right here. Verse 14, temptation comes from our own desires, which entice us and drag us away. So that's your flesh that's tempting you sometimes. Like,
that's right.
I'm being real with y'all, man. I'm talking about me too. Sometimes it's my own flesh that entices and tempts me. Sometimes it's not the enemy, it's me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's the world, and then sometimes it is the enemy. And I want to talk a little bit about the enemy, right? Because I love fishing. I've been doing it ever since I was little, bro. I've been going fishing with my grandmother ever since I was like 3 years old. Like since I was young, I still fish today, right? And for all the fishermen and people who do fish, they will tell you that one of the secrets to fishing is to have the correct lure. I hope y'all getting me so far.
Okay. I see where
If
you're
I'm
going.
going to fish out for redfish in New Orleans, right? Reds like to eat shrimp and they like to eat fresh shrimp. You don't catch reds on plastic lures. So if I have a plastic lure and I'm trying to catch reds, I'm not going to catch anything. I'm going to catch the different fish. So the secret to fishing is to have the correct lure. I want to give y'all another secret. The enemy knows your lure. I'm being completely honest with you. The enemy has the correct lure to get you in because the enemy is tied right into your own desires, the ones that you really, really want. He knows them because you tell it to him. See, he said earlier, we really don't tell God the things that we be fighting with. We don't want God to know, like, God, listen, man, I'm struggling with pornography. I am. I'm telling you, I get on Google and I start searching and I'll be sitting there watching and I'll be getting excited about it. We don't tell God that because we feel like if we tell God that, he gonna like we get embarrassed or God is gonna turn his shoulder to us and be like, I can't believe you watching pornography. I don't want nothing to do with you. So we tell the enemy that, yo, devil, man, I'm about to hop on this pornography today. I'm about to search this, and that. Man, this thing was good today. Like I'm trying to get in. We be excited to tell the enemy that, but we never be excited to tell God about the things we're struggling with our fleshly bodies because we're embarrassed, bro.
Yeah.
I'm about to give something real quick and I'm about to turn it over to you because I want to go back to Genesis, bro, because we did a podcast on this before. And I got deeper in this. I went to Genesis 3, 5, and 6. And this is literally about when Eve literally got hit up by the snake. And Eve, my entire time, you know what? I never really knew what sin they committed. I'm being real with y'all.
What's that?
I never knew what sin they really committed. I was always told they committed a sin, but I never knew really what sin they committed. Like what temptation did they go off their own flesh or the world or the enemy? I never knew. Like I never really paid attention, bro. And I started reading and I was like, yo, so the enemy hit up the lady, he hit up Eve and was like, what God really told you? And she said, we're not supposed to eat from that tree you telling me to eat from. And she said, okay, I want to eat from that tree. That was her own desires. Like the enemy didn't say nothing really big. He just said, if you eat from there, you'll get smarter. So it must have hit her that she wanted to be smarter, right? She wanted to be smarter than what was going on. So it was her own desires that got her. So, bro, I started digging deeper in that temptation, bro. And I wanted to see what you thought. I wanted to see what you thought about like what really happened right there, because this was the first temptation.
Wow. Never thought about it like that either.
Bro, I'm serious.
To be 100% honest with you. And see, it goes back to what you said, man. The enemy he's a trickster.
Yeah.
He's not there to he's not going to tempt you with nothing that ain't already in you. Right? Like we were born with sin in us. Right? Unfortunately, Adam and Eve kind of started this thing. See, the crazy part is when you think about that situation, the reason, this is what I believe, the reason he didn't go to Adam is because, see, Adam was with God first. From the beginning, from the conception of man, right? Eve didn't get the same word from God that Adam did. Right? So the enemy, man, thank you, God, thank you. The enemy will use a vessel to get to you to act on that temptation that you already feeling in your flesh.
Yeah, big facts.
See, a pastor years and years ago, when I was married to my son's mother, he said the enemy will use her to get to you. And I had never, like, I caught it. I was like, yeah, okay, I hear you. But see, I didn't know what he was really giving me.
Yeah.
He just said what you just said, bro. He gave me Adam and Eve again. And in my mind, I didn't think I would ever be Adam. And I didn't know I was in a position to be tempted through another vessel.
Yeah.
If y'all ain't catching that, man,
bro, that's good.
You will be tempted through another vessel. The flesh, the enemy knows it. That whole situation with Eve didn't have the full word. She didn't hear the whole word from God. She only got it. She got it from another vessel. See, that's why you got to go get that thing for yourself. Y'all gonna hear us on the podcast. Y'all gonna go to church and hear it on Sunday. But see, you got to get in this word
that's
to
good
understand
right
how to not be tempted.
Yeah,
that's good. I knew what I needed. I knew when my flesh became too loud, I know I can't carry it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So I go to my community so that they can steer me back to the word. So when I get back to the word, you know what, God, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not about to do it, because if I do it, what it say in James, you're going to be dragged away.
Yeah.
The things that are enticing you are going to drag you away. See, I don't want to be dragged away in temptation. I want to be dragged into a test to have a testimony.
Yeah, yeah.
See, that testimony is going to be, I'm a vessel that's going to lead somebody else to go get that word.
That's good, bro.
And I thank God for the test. And I welcome the temptation, because if I'm not tempted, I can't get stronger. I don't want to be stagnant in life.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't allow the enemy to use, and he's going to use whatever vessel that's available. See, Eve made herself available.
Hey, I don't think they caught that one, bro. I don't think they caught that one. That was good.
See, Eve, when she was by herself, so she was available.
Oh, that's good.
To be tempted. Right? See, anytime that you read about Adam, he was in the field, he was with God. Where was Eve at?
Good. That's good.
Stop making yourself available.
Bro, that's good. Hey, I didn't even catch that one. That's
Let's
good.
Go, bro.
Like, it's crazy. That, bro, that's crazy, because, like, if you think about it, bro, that they were in the garden with, like, they were in the area with God. And it's when, like, once one of them left out that area, they got tempted. Like, you know what I'm saying? They made themselves available to temptation. I never thought about that. Bro, that is good, dude. Bro, that's good. That's so good, because I thought about, like, what you said about, like, how I said they were thinking of, like, what happened with their temptation, and, like, how it was the first one. You know, in the Navy, bro, we got this, like, UCMJ, right? Like, that, for everybody that doesn't know, it's our big, like, legal thing. Like, it has all the, like, Uniform Code of Military Justice, like, these laws that you can't break, from Article 108 to all these articles, where I can keep going. Like, there's one for adultery, there's one for stealing, whatever. But there's one article that's open and vague. It's called Article 92, right? And it literally states it's for disobeying a lawful order, right? And you can use it for anything. Like, it's vague, right? And I wrote a note down, bro, because, like, this thing that happened in the garden made me think of Article 92. Because God did tell them, you can eat from any tree, but you can't eat from that one. He never told them why. No, he did. He said, because you will die. That's literally what he said. He never went in too deep with it, because he gave them an order. He told them, don't eat from that one, but you can have all the rest of them. And there's thousands of them. And they disobeyed the law for order, right?
That's right.
So if it has the same meaning behind it, I literally wrote in a point, what's your Article 92? when you start to get tempted,
Mm-hmm.
what's your Article 92? What did God tell you that you disobeying right now?
Man.
See, we always looking for this pinpoint and God is opening it up vague. You can have all of that,
Man.
but you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you surely will die. And God is giving it to us time after time after time before. And that's why I'm asking y'all, what is y'all Article 92? Is it the pornography? Because that is what's going to lead to something else, which is going to lead to you dying, right? Because you got to go back to the verse, bro. These desires give birth to sinful actions, and when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to what? Death.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to go back to what's your Article 92? See, you on the pornography and you sitting there like, bro, this is only pornography. It's only pornography. I'm good.
Yeah.
But that pornography may lead to a sinful action. Now you somewhere where you're not supposed to be. And now you done committed a sin that you thought you never would have done. And now you done gave birth to death. Right?
Right.
And we start thinking literally like, oh, nah, he talking about I'm going to die tomorrow. No. I'm talking about death of something in your life. Let's talk about death to your marriage. Let's talk about death to a relationship with your daughter or son. Let's talk about death to a relationship and a job. See, you got to start thinking of, man, I don't even want to go here because we don't think like this. But I know old buddy, and we all had our own testimonies, and I done gave mine. But let's be real. Old buddy who used to coach the Celtics, he didn't think that his actions would lead to death of something. This guy was an amazing coach. He took the Celtics somewhere very high. He was getting praised, bro.
Yeah.
He was getting praised. He made a mistake with an action, and it led to death of his job. Now you don't even hear about this guy no more, right? His character is getting burned, right? People lose grace with people who mess up. Even though they say we're supposed to have grace, it turns to death with something, right? Because this is where we're at right now. So even with me, myself, actions that I've made have caused death to something, death to promotions that I have, death to relationships that could have brought God, people to the kingdom of God. Like I'm trying to tell you that your actions, your Article 92s will lead to death of something. Like, bro, I don't know how to make it bigger than that, but bro, this is good, bro. It's good.
It's something very, very key in that scripture. And I don't think that people understand. And it's James 1:15. It said, these desires give birth to sinful actions. And when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. We think about when a woman is pregnant, there's a seed that has to be planted for a child to be born, correct? So what seed are you planting in this test that you're getting from God? See, you can either water that seed with, I ain't even gonna go there. I'm gonna put it back on me. Either I can water that seed with anger, with malice, with wanting to fight, with wanting to be revengeful, or I can go to the farmer who created me from the dirt and actual instructions on how to take care of this garden that he put on me.
Bro.
See, when I pour out, I want my garden to grow. And I want it to grow fresh fruits, fresh crops. Because on my tree, if my fruit is dead, how can somebody else eat off of my tree?
Yeah.
See, God put us all here to eat off each other's tree. What you go through, I can get a testimony. I can hear your testimony. Now I can get some direction on how to steer away from that temptation.
Yeah.
But if the tree and the crops that you planted they don't bear any fruit, how can we all eat off each other's tree? Even Jesus told a tree, since you don't want to bear no fruit, you die. never to grow again. And the tree died. Like, that's how we got to be towards the things that are tempting us. See, I had to speak to God, and I had to speak to that thing that was tempting me. You can't have me, man. No matter how much you try to push my button, I'm not going to give you the glory and the satisfaction.
That's good.
So that now when I pour out, I got a testimony. See, I could teach my son how to handle his emotions.
Yeah.
Because all this sin started off emotions. He was tempted in emotions.
That's good.
Whatever you feeling, whatever you feel like you've been tempted on, it's an emotion. You've been tempted in emotion, right? You mad, you tempted in emotion.
Yeah.
Right? You see that young lady or that young man, and you be like, man, I just that's an emotion. Somebody did you wrong. Now you want revenge. That's an emotion.
Yeah, big facts.
God is not a God of emotions. He don't deal with emotions.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, we all would be gone. He would have wiped the earth a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you can't allow that seed to continue to grow in you, man. You have to, if that seed that's planted in your field is bearing weeds, you got to dig that thing up. You got to uproot that thing that's keeping you bound in temptation.
Yeah.
See, you out here with the shackles on of temptation, and you blaming the enemy for it, and he like, man, I ain't got nothing. This ain't even me. And Jesus and God's like, hey, man, I did that to you.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it because I need you to take that and bring it to me. See, it all goes back to when you bring it to God, that means now your flesh is dying daily. You have to deny the things that you want to do. You can react. Yes, that's an emotion. But see, a wise man doesn't act off emotions. A wise man thinks.
That's good, bro.
And what God said, think of the things of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Think of the things of me. See, when I think about what God would do, I know we used to wear the bracelet, WWJD, right? What would Jesus do? But see, Jesus already told you. He spoke to that thing that was trying to tempt him. He said, it is written. So to the temptation that I was facing, it is written. I have victory. I have glory. I have God is great. He created a great testimony out of this. God gets the glory out of all of this, not me.
That's good.
I don't want it. Let's go, bro.
Bro, like before I go on to this last little point, bro, I wanted to talk about, you said something about like when you putting seeds in the ground, right? We all know that you reap what you sow, whatever, right there. But I gotta let y'all know, man, a bad seed watered right will grow. I'm just I don't know how else to put what you just said and make it tangible, man. Bro. A bad seed watered right will grow.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? If you water it right, it still will grow, bro. So like you was talking about like putting that seed in the ground, and what you water it with is what you're gonna get. Man, even a bad seed with the right water will grow to produce fruit, man. So
that's right.
Like you gotta know like that temptation that's in you. If you start watering it with God, if you start watering it with straight joy and peace and all that, it's gonna grow something that's gonna produce. But like he said, man, if you start throwing that malice on it, that anger, that sexual desire on it, you're gonna get the tree of that, and people are gonna eat off of that. And now you got people vomiting off of bad fruit. Like that's what you got going on.
That's good, bro.
I hope y'all got that, man.
That's good, bro.
People are throwing up and vomiting off what you putting out there.
Man,
that's not how this supposed to be. People supposed to eat off of what you got and get full. Like, yo, bro, bro.
That's a word, bro.
That
was a bar.
That's what I got from you, dog. Like for real. So I needed y'all to catch that, bro. Yeah. And Eve, on my last point, I got, man, that I wanted to talk about is that last 17, man. Whatever is good and perfect is a gift coming down to us from God our Father, who created all lights and heavens, man.
Yes, sir.
And 18, when he said, and we out of all creation became his prized possession. It's so great that God knows we're gonna get tempted. He knows the desires come from us.
Man.
And even out of all of that, he still says we're his prized possession.
Yes, sir.
And know that all good is coming down, right?
Man.
So it lets you know that the temptations don't come from him, because he said, I can't tempt you because I can't do wrong. Anything good coming in your life, it gotta be coming from me because I'm all good. But even when you might fall into your temptations, even when things go wrong, bro, y'all still my prized possession. And with that, bro, like I just wanted to talk about the last little point. Is just surrender.
Yeah,
that's it, man. Surrender them temptations over. And the last point, bro, with that, the point that I'm making with that is, you got to know how to distance yourself from your temptations. You got to put distance in between you and your temptations.
Yes, right.
You do, right?
Yeah.
Like if you pay attention to like one of the movies, it ain't The Temptation, but it's The Five Heartbeats, right? At the end of the movie, man, old buddy go back to church and he hear a guy singing that used to be in the group that was drugged out. And the only reason he got better is because he put distance in between him and the group, right? Like you gotta put distance in between you and your temptations. And what I mean by that is sometimes your friends can be temptations for you. And sometimes you got to put distance in between you and them. I was having a conversation with somebody today that I met, and they was telling me about how their life changed and how they had friends who were good to be there to help them, but they wanted to make life changes. And for them to become new, for their flesh to end, they had to put a distance in between these friends. So what distance are you putting in between your temptations? If it's because you vent so much on social media, are you putting a temptation? Are you putting a distance in between you and social media? You know what, God? I want to surrender this over to you. Instead of me being on social media every day, I want to only go on there once a week. I want to put a distance in between my social media. I remember my brother-in-law Aaron, bro. He told us, I'll never forget him saying this. He said he was talking. This one guy came to him for some ministry, and he was saying, and the guy was saying, you know, hey, pastor, like every time I get with this girl in my car, I just lose myself, and I don't know what to do. And my brother-in-law Aaron said, stop getting in the car with her. Like, and when he said it, bro, it hit me like, now that's the most simplest thing that man could have done. He didn't give him nothing magical like, hey, you need to read Exodus and Leviticus every single day, and I promise you will stop being tempted. No, he gave him something simple as put distance in between you and the temptation. Stop getting in the car with the girl, and you won't fall into the temptation. He didn't tell him that you're not going to be tempted by the girl. He didn't say that you're not going to think about being tempted. He was saying, bro, stop getting in the car with her so you can stop falling into the temptation. So this is another thing getting deeper. Stop, put distance in between you and your temptation so that you can stop falling into the temptation. Bro, if it's you and drugs, put a distance in between it. Get away from the alcohol. If you got alcohol in your house, don't sit here and be like, bro, I'm just going to put it in the cabinet and I'm not going to be tempted by this. What? What? Bro, call your best friend and say, hey, man, I need to take this over to your house. And don't let me get this. Put it at your mama's house. You know what? I'm gonna tell y'all who to give it to. Give it to your bill collector. You ain't gonna never go over there. You know what I'm saying? Give it to somebody you owe money to. Like, put distance in between you and your temptations, bro. Like I wanted to get on that one, bro, because bro, that's
Bro, you know what? The crazy part, and we talked about this so many times on this podcast, man. Like God's word don't come with like fireworks and all these extravagance dripped in gold and all this stuff. God was like, Eric, you mad? Stop being mad. What?
so
What you mean? You ain't see what happened? See, that's that other part that we get. It's that flesh saying, you see what they did to me? They did it like that. You just want to point the finger at what they did. But what did you do, Eric? At some point, you made somebody upset. Didn't they forgive you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they ain't do me like
Oh, yeah, that's it right there.
But didn't they forgive you for it? You're not so perfect either. Right? So you got to come off that high and mighty chair of yours, and you just got to give it to God. Like, see what you embarrassed about. I'm gonna go back to one of your other points, bro. What you embarrassed about is that's the main reason you getting tested.
Yeah.
God was like, okay, since you don't want to bring it to me, I'll make it easy for you. I'll make you bring it to me. And every time we keep fumbling the bag with it. Like he keeps testing you to see if you're going to watch pornography.
Yeah.
The enemy is going to tempt you with some form or some woman or some man to try to test those, to try to tempt you in those urges. But God, in the middle of that temptation, he going to say, what you going to do? See, Jesus was tempted. In the middle of it, Jesus knew where to go to. He said, it is written. My Father said. And so for me in my temptation, I love my son. I love that young man. And the enemy knows that my temptation, he's going to tempt me with the love that I have for my son to make me go and do something crazy. And then I would be dragged into sin and I will birth death, meaning that I will lose everything that I love. If I love my son like I say I do, I have to be an example. Because at some point, the same test that you're getting, your children need a blueprint on how to pass it too.
That's good, bro.
See, your test is bigger than you.
Yeah.
See, you want to get through sin and pornography, but what about your kids? Everything is on. I mean, they don't have to go far for porn or whatever they can get into to make them live a blessed life. It's right on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. It's everywhere. So what examples do they have?
That's good. That's good.
See, if I teach my son to act on his emotions, he won't be a real man. He'll be in prison or dead or something.
Yeah.
But if I give him the word of God, as God ordained me to be the shepherd because I'm a father of my offspring, then now I can direct my son. I can lead him to be a better man than what I was. I can show him an example of, he'll say, you know what? I remember when my dad went to yelling, but I remember my dad also coming back and giving me great word from God to get me through this thing.
Yeah.
I never saw my dad put his hands on anyone.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to be in that position. You can't keep birthing death and expecting life. That makes no sense.
That
makes no sense. You can't birthing death and expecting life to come out of it.
That was good.
How, Sway? You ain't got the answer, Sway. So, man, like, just you gotta give that thing to God, man. Like, you can't, like, you just can't. You can't handle it. You can't. You're not built to handle it. You're built to give it away. Now, how you choose to give it away, there's your test. That's the real test. You can't handle anger. You ain't got it. That's why God didn't want us to eat off the tree of life. Because all this stuff that we feeling and dealing with, He said, y'all can't handle it.
Mm.
So I sent my son Jesus to die for y'all so I can take that burden off of you.
Yeah.
See, that was the greatest sacrifice that was ever made. But see, even God shows y'all. See, Jesus was tempted. He was mad. Jesus was me. Right before he went to the cross, he was mad. He's like, man, you sure? You sure I can't go do nothing?
Big fact.
Like, I could just go out here and everybody gone. But God, look, you know what you're doing. And I had to, it's crazy because I said the same thing. I said, God, I can't do it. So I know you know what to do with this. So take it.
Yeah.
Jesus said, take this bitter cup from me. God, take this. Because I can't do it. I can't carry this cross. Even Jesus had to get help carrying his cross.
Too heavy to bear. Man.
Give it up, man. Y'all can't do it, man. You ain't built like that.
Bro, that was good, bro. I'm still on the line, dog. I'm still on the bars, bro. Jeez. Man, I really have nothing, bro. That like I said, man, I really hope that, you know, this deeper dive on this temptation was for somebody who needed to know, man, because it, like I said, we've been bamboozled, man. We've been, you know, mixed up on a lot of things on this walk and this journey, and things can get confused, but you got to take a deeper dive in this Bible, in that word. And you got to get a deeper relationship with God to know, you know, what things you need to go deeper on, man. And temptation was one of them, man, because I got some nuggets tonight. So, man, that's good, bro.
Man, hey, say it again. You can't birth.
Jeez.
You can't plant death and expect life to birth out of that, man. You just can't. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what else to tell y'all, man. I don't have a follow on to what you said, bro. I'm gonna just let that ride, man. I'm gonna let y'all have that, and I'm gonna plant that in. All right.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, it's been great. Go back and watch it. Go back and share it. Please like, please subscribe. And man, I'm telling y'all, you cannot handle it. This is a test for you. But don't let your flesh tempt you into failing your test.
Yeah, big facts.
All right. Until next time, BroTalk, be blessed, man.